NERDSoul.
Lay ill kid at OneYoungsta holding it down, bring you street geek and nerd. So we back. Star Trek is back, and even though we're not back on video, look, we still back here in spirit. You got the audio, and I ain't by myself. I have brought. That's right, the sorceress one. All right. So long, Grace. Say what's up, man.
Hey, what is? Oh man, the sorceress run? Really?
I mean, that's hey, it just came to me.
Well, I gotta say, what is going on, everybody out there, especially you deckers? I am Solar Gray, the cinematic sorcerer, coming at you from the Wizard's Tower. And we are here to talk about one of my favorite things today. Absolute favorite things.
Good old Star Trek. Good old Star Trek. Now,
Seriously.
Strange New Worlds is back, and we didn't get together for the first episode because I didn't know that it was coming back. This is one time when Paramount emails actually sent me something that I watch. So they
like, here you go. The next season of Yellowstone is out. It's like, I live by the woods. I'm good.
I've gotten like 3 Good Wife emails, and I'm like, I don't watch that. Like, yo, I thought the point of you having all this data on what I watch and click on was supposed to help you send me things I watch. Why are you sending me? You're taking all this data, you're selling all this data, but then you're sending me ads for the Good Wife. Why you seeing me watch every single Star Trek show you got? Well, at least the new ones. Why are you sending me the Good Wife? Come on, man. Come on, man. But anyway.
Well, it's like, we know when you like something, you watch all of it, and the Good Wife could use some help. So please come watch the Good Wife. We need viewers like you. That would be it. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, I am, because I started watching Top Gun Maverick. I got like 10 minutes in, and I was like, you know what? I've never watched the first Top Gun. So I stopped it and went and started the first one. But then the little guy came in.
Okay, I was just about to be like, you ain't never seen Top Gun? You ain't. Nope. How can you? You ain't never seen Top? And then I realized there are a few classic things from the 80s that I haven't seen. And
yeah, I've seen like Risky Business. I've seen some other like young Tom Cruise stuff, but I haven't seen Top Gun.
That's like saying I watched a few Bruce Willis movies, but I ain't never seen Die Hard, right?
Well, I mean, I have seen Days of Thunder, and that joint is sweet. So I mean, come on, man. Like, give a brother some props. You know what I'm saying? Days of Thunder is sweet. You know what I'm saying? It's super dope. You know what I'm saying? There was wheelchair racing. I remember that.
Hey, don't worry. Look, that's just me being old. All right. When Top Gun came out, I was a kid, so that was like all the when it came out. I know you were probably just learning how to walk when Top Gun.
Dude, when did Top Gun come out? Real quick, ain't nothing wrong with some quick shenanigans in the beginning. Let's see, Top
83,
Gun.
84.
Let's see. It came out in 86, so I was 4 years old.
Okay, all right, yeah. So I can see you not really caring about fighter pilots and stuff like that. It came out when you were at cartoon age.
I was still at PBS Kids age.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So you were like, Top Gun? No, Top Gun's not Reading Rainbow. Top Gun ain't Mr. Rogers. Like,
I don't know what this stuff is.
Yeah, exactly.
But I will say the first 10 minutes of Maverick got me interested enough to go back and watch the first one, because I was like, I like this. I don't know what's going on. I know it's fighter pilot stuff, but I like the action. I'm in. So when I get some time away from the little guy, I got some anime I got to catch up on and stuff, but I will watch that. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I will get into that. But
so did you watch part 1 though?
No, I haven't watched part 1 yet. I went to start it, and then he came in the room, and I was like, all right, I'll just watch this later.
Okay, all right. Well, real talk, it is actually a pretty family-friendly movie, except for the one steamy 1980s blue-tinted love scene.
Oh, snap. Taking it back.
Yeah.
There ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with the 80s love scenes. You know what I'm saying? You had to have those back then. It was like part of the checklist.
Okay.
It really was. It seems like there was a checklist for like if there was an action movie at all, or it was any kind of action. It's like we need a love scene. But we got Star Trek here. We looking good, man. All right, they came back in style. They came back with the episode called The Broken Circle. All right, and I wanna get into that episode. We're gonna do both episodes. We're gonna give y'all our little thoughts real quick. I'll throw this to Solar real quick. This is a softball. When Pike said, "I'm gonna be back in a couple days,"
Yeah.
he's like, "Look, we're at port. It's all good." The second he said, "Yo, man, look, I'm gonna be back in a couple days. Don't even worry about it. I'm gonna be all right. All right, y'all just chill out here. Y'all be at the port. Look, how bad could it be?" I knew something bad was going to happen. I knew something bad was going to happen. Because
Okay.
whenever someone says, "Hey, look, I'm just going to run to the store. I'm coming right back."
Daddy went out for Cocoa Puffs all those years ago, but I guess the store ran out and he had to walk to Kansas to get some. He coming back.
Man, yo, they had to essentially like steal Daddy's car to go on a rescue mission that might end up sparking off a war anyway.
Okay,
I mean,
so
we get the Gorn brought back in. We get a lot of little nice little key pieces thrown in real quick.
well, yeah, but what I will do is before we get on to anything, in regards to what you just said, I'm gonna jump to the end real quick.
Oh,
Just to point out that I like that you brought up how he was saying how they kind of stole the car to go out on some shenanigans, but this is Uncle Pike. This is Uncle Chris. He knew, and you know how I knew that he knew that something like that was going to pop off. One, he's been the captain of that ship forever.
Yeah,
and because you can't leave the Enterprise alone. You really can't. But more to the point, notice he didn't say a word about it to Spock. Like at the end, it was just like, "Oh, stole the car." Like that grandpa in The Lost Boys going, "Well, you know what the rule is when you take the car without asking. You got to fill up the tank when you get back." That's it on the conversation. He didn't even get that. Spock got chewed by somebody else.
Yeah, you know what? Pike didn't. And I mean, of course, it's because to a certain degree, Pike is kind of the guy, of course, like the guy that leads straight into Kirk. So we're getting Kirkish antics from Pike. But I will say Pike is a more mature Kirk. He's still cool. He still plays fast and loose from time to time, but he's more mature. I think he thinks more than Kirk does.
Yeah, I will honestly I will honestly put like Kirk is essentially Pike's son, but
I can see that.
Yeah, it's that son that's like, that son that's really out there just wilding out. And Pops is going, "Look, it's not that I have a problem with you wilding out. I have a problem with you getting caught." So
yeah, it's like you don't
wow boy. All the way out, boy. Just you need to wow mid. Wow mid,
just a little bit.
Yeah, like don't go in the suburbs wilding out like that. Somebody's gonna call the cops. You go downtown. All right, you go downtown so you can hide. So when the popos show up, you can run to an alley, maybe hide in a trash can, something like that. But don't be doing that in the suburbs. Come on, right. James.
It's too easy to find you. Now, I did want to also throw in this Nurse Chapel, man. That love connection. You know what I'm saying? You saw Spock go all out. Spock was like, "I'm gonna save this girl. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do all I can to save this woman right here." You know what I'm saying? He knew this his boo. All right, this gonna be his girl right now. At least for the, as much as Spock can, emote. You know what I mean? He got a little bit of emotion, but he ain't going full out.
Right.
And
Right,
Spock,
right,
you
right.
know, Spock, he got a dime back. Well, he did have a dime. I think they broke up. I can't remember. But he had a dime back on New Namek. Haha, I know. But anyway, yeah, the Don Breezy back home, and he got Nurse Chapel. He living a life right now. But
You
I
know, we
do.
we talked about this season 1. Like his girl back on Vulcan. The only thing I gotta say is watch the original series, okay? Because that's a big thing. Just watch the original series.
Okay.
So
No problem. No problem. I respect that. I respect that. But Nurse Chapel, she steps up in this episode, and Dr. Umbinga comes back through.
okay, so this episode throws one of my great grandmother's axioms right into the public spotlight. All right.
Okay.
All right. She used, like, my great grandmother has said a whole lot of things that I've been trying to disprove to no avail. And for example, a man don't get no sense until he's 40, so don't take him too serious until he's 45. Number 2, never mess with the person who cooks your food or does your hair. And this last one, no, it's not never go against a Sicilian when death is on the line, but don't make a doctor hurt you. Nobody knows how to mess you up better than a doctor and a nurse. I'm sorry.
And they had the super serum for a little bit.
Yeah, seriously. They
I love how she
straight
said,
up Captain
she was
America
like,
and the Winter Soldier on Klingon. They're just like, so you ready to do this? No, I don't feel like doing this. And I gotta get like this one. I gotta give it to the doctor on this one, because when he delivered that line, the war's never over, that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. When it's like, are you ready to do this again? Nah, not ready to do it again. But what you gonna do? When he said that line, it wasn't, I'm not ready to do this because I'm scared of what'll happen. It was, I'm not ready to do this because I know what I will do.
Yeah, I think he's more scared of the person that he used to be. Because at least without knowing all the Star Trek lore, I've only watched like 3 Star Trek shows kind of all the way through. So like I've watched Next Generation maybe all the way through. I mean, there were a lot of reruns back then, so I don't know. And Deep Space Nine, and then Discovery. So those are like the 3 that I've watched. So with this, I get the idea that he was a medic, but more of a combat medic. Like he wasn't just sitting there with like, a stethoscope and a scalpel. Like he probably had a gun in his hand most of the times, and he just had a med kit with the team. Like, because he had a look on his face like, I don't want to be this guy anymore. Like, I don't want to be the person that hurts people. I can hurt people, but I don't want to hurt people. Like that's the gist I got from him. Like, I thought I left this life alone, but now I gotta slap you. No.
Yeah, honestly, everything about, because he's a good doctor. I ain't gonna lie, he is. I was thinking about that after watching this episode. I'm like, you know what? Robert Picardo played the most efficient doctor in Star Trek history. Okay, because the doctor program from Voyager was the most skilled doctor.
Okay,
but real talk, Mbawe is the best. Umbinge, he is the best doctor.
He's like the wisdom of the ship. He's like he's like you go when you need a shoulder to lean on. He doesn't have a loose lip. And then you tell him your business. He ain't gonna be like, you didn't hit for me. Like you don't have to worry about that. Like he's always gonna be a shoulder to lean on. He's always gonna give you like his full attention, and then give you an answer that he believes is the best decision. He's not going to be like, oh, I think you should just smack everybody. He's going to try to give you the best, information and the most care in that information. Like I really like his character. Like I really do.
Right.
way more than I thought I would. Like when I first saw him, I was like, we ain't never gonna see him. They just threw him in there just so we got. And I'm like, oh, hold up, he's getting scenes. He's actually has words of wisdom. I like this guy. Like I'm starting. I like this team maybe as much as the Discovery team. But Discovery has more time, so I might like, because at first I hated the Discovery team. I'm like, none of y'all get along. Y'all get on my nerves. I can't stand y'all. And now I'm like, y'all are family. so so I'm starting to feel the same way about these guys. Like I like Mbinga, I like Una, I like Nurse Chapel, Spock is cool. Like I like all these guys. Even Noonien, even though Noonien she'd be like, I got this, I'm on my own. I'd be like, man, girl, stop this. You got a whole squad. But I do like the team a lot, and I like his place in it. And I like the fact that they're allowing him to get his shine. Like everybody gets their episodes and their shine and stuff like that, and they share the rock well.
Yeah, they really did. Although I had a little bit of a problem with the resolution of that particular plot line this time.
Okay.
And this is more of a me versus Hollywood thing on it. Don't get me wrong. How can I put this? Spock ran straight to Nurse Chapel. Didn't even call anybody for the doctor.
Yo.
Doctor's sitting up like, oh, young love, but hello, hey, hey, I'm here. Yo.
I could do this.
Yeah.
They're like, don't worry about it. They were like, don't worry about it. Look, this is about love. I love this woman. A thing I like about Broken Circle, we got to see Penguin's mom from Gotham. I like her. She was also in was it Kimmy Schmidt? That lady. Mm-hmm. That lady, okay. She's funny. I like her. She's a nice spice to add in the thing. So shouts to Kimmy Schmidt. That was like a weird show, but actually was kind of funny. Like, especially when you had the dude, oh man, every time they did a flashback of him, he had that fake high top fade. It was like a sponge on his head. But anyway, back to this show.
Okay. I didn't watch Kimmy Schmidt. I didn't. That was after that came in the period where I just stopped watching TV altogether.
But I like her where she was like, look, y'all trying to steal this ship? If y'all want to do it, y'all need to do it like this.
Yo.
And it's funny because I said it a little bit before it. I was like, you know what? She probably wants to go because she's just bored. And she said it. She was like, I don't do anything. I don't get to do cool things.
All right.
So I hear about Enterprise. Y'all do cool things. Hey, let's go.
Well, all right. Two things about that. One, I love Carol Kane. I really do. I've been a fan of her pretty much all my life, from her part on Taxi. She killed it in Scrooge. Everybody's favorite
time. She was. Wow.
Yeah. Everybody's favorite part of her was Valerie from The Princess Bride. Wow,
I forgot about Scrooge.
Liar, I'm not a witch, I'm your wife. Yeah, that was her. And I gotta say, she doesn't look half bad for her age. I'm like, all right, cool. I like that they gave her a raspy voice because her standard voice in most of her performance was great.
Oh man.
But I don't really like the high-pitched childish voice. But did you catch what they made her?
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because I wrote that down. I wanted to ask you, what is she?
Because Guinan. She's of Guinan's race, bro.
I was like, what is she? Because I didn't see the head spot, so I'm like, she's not one of them people. So I was like, what is she? So she's word. Nice.
Yeah. So when she's like, yeah, no, it was a long story, but yeah, I've been trying to get out of here for 100 years, and it's like 100 years. Oh, hang on a minute. My neighbor is evidently drilling some, or not drilling, but sawing some steel.
Oh, it's all good. We can't hear it, so it's fine.
Okay, you can't hear it. Cool. So
Yeah.
yeah, she was like, yeah, essentially, they introduced because when we looked at Picard and we saw young Guinan, I'm like, okay, or younger Guinan, and you know, the episode where Picard found out that she was friends with Mark Twain. So, and yeah, so I like the
that's a
fact
random. Like that's random, but okay.
that there was a whole episode to it.
Yeah, but I'm just saying it's like that's random, but I mean, okay, hey, you lived a life. Well, you lived a long life, and
Yeah,
I guess still
exactly.
living.
Exactly. So,
But the the way they pulled her off, I really enjoyed. Like I really enjoyed the way they pulled her off, and I'm glad you brought that out for me because I do have a question for the next episode. But I was like, what? I was like, what is she? Because she doesn't have the spots on her head. So, but I know she got to be someone who lives a long time because she's talked about 100 years and all that stuff. So, thanks for clearing that up. Word,
hey,
cool.
no problem. Yeah, I mean, they gave it to you in context. Like, you guys have been living on Earth, blending in with humans for hundreds of years. I'm like, uh-huh, they have. They look just like us, but they're old. You know,
just live
and
a
I do
very
like
long
the
time.
fact, yeah, I very much like the fact of the you know the worst part about living almost forever? Losing the ones you love. Oh, child. Everybody goes through that.
Yeah, it's like, don't worry about that. It's all good.
Yeah.
We all go through that. Now I wanna flip it to the ad Astra per Aspera.
Bro, yes.
Or to the stars through hardship.
Yes, the obligatory Star Trek trial episode.
I mean, it's obligatory, but okay. This, you know what? I want you to tell me how you feel about this trial episode in general, because there's a couple things that I wanted to hit on it. I liked it in general, but there's some Hollywood things that I want to hit it on. But I know you go first because I know you got the Hollywood. You know, you got the boxing gloves for Hollywood.
Okay, so number one, all like a whole box of props to the casting department for yeah, all of the props, a whole box of props to the casting department for hang on. Yeah, so all like a whole box of props to the casting department for casting the woman that played that lawyer. Bruh. I have not seen a part on television killed with such fervor for a long time.
Yeah,
she just came in.
I think she knew. She's like, I got one episode. I got to kill
this. You ain't lying. She's like, all right, I got to do this one time. All right, one time. Maybe this will get me in a movie. Yeah,
I can't pronounce her name, but she's the goddess from American Gods. I can't pronounce her name. Please forgive me. Yetide Badaki. I'm so
yes, Atilda Badaki, as in hashtag Atilda for Storm. Yeah, we talked about her.
Yeah, she's always been dope. She kills it. And when I saw her, I was like, oh man. And I'm like, for one part, I was like, well, this is just one episode. We ain't never gonna see her again. But there's you know, you never know. But it was cool to see her come in a role that's so different and still kill it.
Yeah, so, honestly, she murdered that part.
Yeah, like with grace, and man, I was just happy, and the way they weaved in, kind of like the background with her and Una, and so that really played well for me, and I enjoyed that. But I'll let you get back because I know you got some Hollywood stuff you want to get to. So
yeah, so I know a lot of folks are going to be looking at this, and this one on the Hollywood level. All right, this episode really tried to thread the needle. Okay, and it really didn't. Okay, it really didn't thread the needle. Because it had too many pieces of thread. All right. As much as I hate to say it like this, the whole like the script for the trial is what happens when you all lives matter something.
Yeah.
I mean, I realized that they were trying to say, look, discrimination is wrong regardless of its forms, but they
Yes.
brought up too many forms of discrimination that are unique unto themselves. Okay.
Yo, all right. You know what? I'm not gonna cut you off. Go and do your thing. Cause look, my wife and I were watching this and we were like, ah, respect and all, but go
Yeah,
ahead.
exactly. Like, I give them props for having the heart because it's Star Trek has always had that heart. Okay. The heart is there. Heart is absolutely 100% there. And I realized they were trying to make a tapestry of discrimination against Jewish people, Muslim people, Black people, Indigenous people, queer people. And when I say queer, I mean the entirety of the LGBTQ spectrum, all that jazz. All that jazz. You know, seriously speaking, I see it. I see what they were trying to do. However,
However,
the depths of the discrimination against each of those individual departments are huge. Okay, they could have picked two. They
vastly
could have
different.
picked two. All right, but they
Vastly different.
huh?
I'm just disagreeing, saying vastly different.
Yeah, and they could have picked two of those subjects. Okay, they could have picked two of those subjects to juxtapose against each other and all that stuff. Because the overall theme of this episode was an unjust law when followed is still unjust. I'm like, okay, I'm with it. It's not unjust to break an unfair law. I am 100% there with it. Or more to the point, any society that calls itself just should not have unjust laws on the books. I'm with it. I even yeah.
True that.
Yeah. I even respect the idea. I respect the resolution. When it's, oh, and by the way, here's a contradicting law. So I'm asking you to enforce the one that falls under the principles that you say that y'all live under. Just saying. And I appreciate the fact that Una got special dispensation and they didn't change the law. Partly, and this is not, since my name is not Miguel O'Hara, not because it preserves canon, but because when it comes to unjust laws on the books, it takes a lot to change them. A lot to change the laws, So this episode was very educational in the sense of, no, look, I'm using a public forum to expose how this is all BS. That's a step. Okay,
Yes.
These things are done in steps. Yeah, I saved Una, but I didn't save everybody because you can't save everybody in a 1-hour episode of a sci-fi show. And I respect that it leaned on that.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
I really do. I respect that it leaned on that. But the Hollywood thing, I could just see the executive with the cigar in their mouth.
We did it.
Going, I see just read the
We
script going,
solved everything.
Oh, no, not that. I see the executive going, okay, I see where this is going, but change up this line, this line, this line, this line, this line, this line, and this whole monologue. Because we don't want to leave anybody out. I don't want Star Trek getting canceled. Yeah, Star Trek is not going to get canceled on Twitter. So we're just going to include everybody. That's what we're going to do. Easy solution. Now get out of my office. That's what I saw.
Yeah, okay. So on this show, of course, we take these stories, we enjoy these stories, but then we apply them to our real lives that we're living now, because we know that people are writing these that are in these societies or in our society in Hollywood and stuff like that. We apply them to. So yeah. I'm watching this, as a Black man in America, growing up in America, been in America all my life. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I've been to other countries, but I mean, I've been in America all my life. And I'm watching this, and I'm like, so y'all just going to do racism Yahtzee? Like, y'all get bingo? Y'all get bingo on this? I was like, look, stop it. Like, and okay, I get it, but then you also have to understand to any of those communities, when you do this, it means nothing. When everybody gets a trophy, then nobody's it's, and not to say that those things are not important, but to say that if you lump them together, just like perfect example, I like fruit, I like cake, but if you put fruit and cake together, sometimes it's not great.
Sometimes it works though, but I'm with you with what you're going.
So if you lump them all together, now the blow is kind of softened, and there is a place for intersectionality. Do get me wrong, but the way they try to do this, it kind of like lessens because it's like, oh yeah, well, everybody's discriminating.
Well, see,
all discrimination is the same, and it's all okay.
That's what I mean about they didn't thread the needle.
Yeah.
Because with that, I can't say when everybody's special, no one's special. That's not the school I come from. However, I will say that Star Trek in and of itself has always been ahead of its time. True. And on this one, the script was written ahead of its time. Okay, the reason that needle is so hard to thread is because America's not there yet. Okay, America is so busy fighting against, or Americans are always busy fighting against the existence of their own biases, that putting all the biases of American history on the table just makes them run away, curl up into a ball, while the crying game is playing in the background. All right, so the audience wasn't ready for them to do that, and they wrote the script as though the audience was. This is why I'm saying they tried to thread the needle, because all discrimination definitely, when there's laws that single out people for persecution, or even policies that leave people to be persecuted. You can't see me because we're doing this audio, but I'm doing the quotation fingers now. Accidentally. Something's got to be done about that. But right now, Americans as a whole aren't ready to examine the ways that they open people up for persecution, let alone the ways that they themselves persecute, because they're fighting against the existence of it. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
we're not even close to seeing an episode like this.
Exactly. Like,
because I can see what they're doing. I'm like, yeah, you make a good point, but you got to also understand that someone like me that watches this is going to be like, so you're going to all lives matter, all these situations?
Exactly.
Really? That's what you're going to do? And then at the end, because let me see what you think about this. Una is family. Una is exonerated. Una is, covered under the statute and everything, and everybody's happy for Una.
Yeah,
here's the deal.
She's doing okay.
This is that same type of talented 10th mess where it's like, okay, so you're okay if you're able to hide your modification and be the top flight commander, protector of people, and then you're okay. He's one of the good ones. Like, this still means nothing. What about the Illyrian shopkeeper, the little league coach, the Illyrian, car mechanic, or the Illyrian person that works at the shoe store? They get nothing.
Well,
you
honestly,
have to be Una, which goes to this whole thing of black excellence, where it's really not about excellence, it's about class. But So if you're black and you're rich, that's black excellence. Well, what about the other black people that are doing awesome things in people's lives in the neighborhoods all the time that are not considered black? But that's a whole other thing. That's a whole other story. But what I'm saying is you have to be Una to be accepted. It's like, this doesn't fix anything. I wouldn't even consider this a step. The law is still on the books. Y'all, like, I know y'all want us to clap for this, and I feel why, but the law didn't change, and you have to be Una to get by. That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, again, I'm gonna let you pause for a minute because you went off on that one. and when I say you went off on that one, I am saying I do not disagree. There was some serious Obama vibes in there, you know, because I promise you, very few presidents had to wake up at 4:00 in the morning to study for 3 hours before going to school. You know what I mean? Yeah. And yeah, that talented 10th. Again, it was showing off a lot of those vibes. And I get it. And I think that's what the writers were trying to make the lawyer say. You know, but again, this episode is ahead of most of the American audience, you know, because it was, I mean, the whole concept of Starfleet as a whole is ahead of the American audience. But
True.
The idea that Earth has finally gotten its crap together, cool. That is real sci-fi, but not not enough for the audience to go, okay, everyone has blind spots, including Earth, including the Federation. Now let's look at that blind spot, dissect that blind spot, and then ask what we're gonna do. The American people, the primary audience for Star Trek, won't recognize its own blind spot. It's like, no, I see everything. I see everything all the time.
And then with the people at the bottom of every single statistic across, and when I say at the bottom, I mean the negative end, because you might be like, oh, the bottom of this is good, but at the negative end of every single statistic, when that person, i.e. black man, stands up and says, hey man, this is what's wrong. If y'all just fix this, everything will be cool. Y'all like, he's making this up. He doesn't really understand. He's thinking about it too hard. He's just sensitive. And then that person has to watch Star Trek and be like, man, we could be here, but wow. Now they wrote this episode where it's like, man, that sure would be awesome. But then it's like, did we just put some talented 10th mess in here too? It's like, so it's tough because, yeah, you're right. The American audience has to watch this. It's like, yo, we can't even get past the regular surface level white supremacy ideals in this country alone. We didn't even talk about worldwide. And honestly, to kind of give our audience a little credit, the Federation isn't that advanced. The Federation picked another target. Illyrians, Romulans, Klingons, they still racist. It's just they just ain't on Earth. So, but I digress.
Yeah, no. I mean, again, you're not lying on all that, and I think that's what the writers have been trying to show. Now, real talk, I'm not exactly down with that kind of thing. And I'll say it like this. There was a time, I think, up until season 2 of Deep Space Nine, where the Federation was written as, we did get past most of this stuff. We have some individuals out there, but Starfleet as a whole, we're talking like 92% of it. Yeah, no, we passed this. We're totally past this. You know, Kirk, yeah, still racist, but Kirk is Kirk. But Kirk is not the Federation. Kirk is Kirk. You know what I mean?
You get to individualize when you're a certain type of person, but continue.
Well, that was the thing. Up until season 2 of Deep Space Nine, that it came out that Dr. Bashir was augmented. That was when this whole thing started going.
Yeah.
Okay? Because the whole genetic augmentation, like, I remember back in the days of The Next Generation, where Starfleet was written as to say, we're not into genetic augmentation because if we do genetic augmentation, we might be missing out on a natural variant of evolution that could really exemplify who we are. Okay, I remember there was an episode of a planet that did genetic modifications of the genome in their children before they were born. And their planet was in some sort of space trouble. And Geordi was like, what gives you the right? Like, I was born blind and I still made all this stuff. Y'all need to not be so ableist. And he essentially saved their planet. And he's like, now you see, this is what I was talking about. Your entire great genetic civilization has been saved by the technology used to help a blind man. Like, get your head together, you know? And I liked the Federation when it was like that. But then as soon as they brought in the Dr. Bashir was genetically augmented, and it's not fair that he gets the unfair advantage, and that's why, you know, the eugenics war brought on Khan. And then after that, it's like, well, why should I work so hard when I can just go get a shot at the hospital and end up being photographic memory? And I'm like, guys, you guys are straying. You guys, this is a Rick Berman thing, isn't it? There's got to be a Berman thing, you know?
It's like, did you do this, Rick? Come on, Rick. Did you do this?
Yeah.
Like, don't lie to me, Rick.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So, you know, but since that point, that was when they started introducing Starfleet as not us at our best, just us better, but reflective of what we still are.
Yeah.
You know, and so Strange New Worlds is kind of bringing it back to that Roddenberryan ideal. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because there's some stuff that I see, you know, I see us going toward, like, you know, I mean, we have, you know, I guess you could say augmentation. I mean, if you, to a certain degree, you could say that plastic surgery is augmentation. You know, I mean, they even called, you know, like, you know, what they like breast augmentation. It has the word augmentation in it. So there's, I mean, you know, people are getting calf implants. There's even, you know, surgeries to become taller. So I don't know if maybe we're on our way there anyway, but I mean, it, you know, we kind of see Star Trek already showing, you know, the Ghost in the Shell, the Star Trek, the Johnny Mnemonic future that we're coming to kind of thing. So I don't know if the Una story alone in this kind of like what we've been talking about is strong enough. Well, I mean, I guess because you did have the eugenics wars, but I don't know if it's strong enough to try to carry what they wanted to carry in this story, where they wanted it to be kind of like the example of all of the racism and, you know, discrimination in the world. Like, right. I don't know if it's strong enough on his face. I mean, I guess, but that's why I guess it kind of hit me that way. But it wasn't a whack episode. You know, I do like how she meaning not Batel, that's the actress that Yatid's character. Right. Yatide, I don't know exactly, but apologies. But her character, I like how she kind of navigated her, you know, statements, her questioning, her line of questioning, and all of that to bring them right full circle to be like, so yeah, y'all been following your own rules, right? Okay, well, why don't y'all follow this rule? It's y'all's. Y'all wrote it up, you know, that kind of thing. So I did enjoy that. I did like that. And so, you know, it's kind of tough, but I mean, you know, what I guess they did a little something. It's just that after seeing it, I was like, bruh, like, you know, I'll let y'all slide with this one, but y'all, I gotta ding you a little bit, Hollywood. Come on now, I gotta ding you a little bit, just a touch. And I guess with that, I'll throw it to you on. I guess I'll throw it to you with this one on final thoughts on the opening of season 2, and where can people find you?
Okay, so the opening, the first two episodes, I gotta say, season 2 opened strong. It opened really strong with introducing a new character, excuse me, and the new engineer. And really focusing on Spock. It's like they're finally answering fan letters. And I think that the focus that they gave on Spock and in war with his own emotions and stuff like that is interesting. I think it's very interesting. And I think it's doing a really good job in showing why Spock would not have made a very good captain until all those decades later, after serving under Kirk and all that jazz.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Okay.
yeah. And but yeah, it opened really strong. I really do like that the premiere episode was very much a reminder that Star Trek isn't just about the captain, it's about the crew.
Yeah, definitely.
Given that it was run by the science officer because the first officer's in jail, and the captain is gone trying to get the first officer out, and they still had to do the Enterprise stuff, so I think that was really good. The other part that we didn't touch on, all right, I want to get to, can I touch on something before we got to go?
All right, go ahead. Yeah.
The evolution of Uhura, that was something that really stood out when it opened. Like the first time we see Uhura, it's kind of do that workplace around, like handing off, if not handing off their work to her, taking away the tools she needed to do her job. Just okay, gotta do this thing, and he's like, oh well, come on, just move it. She's like, this is my station, you gonna do your job, go find somewhere to do your job, this is my desk. I'm like, you go, girl. And the other cast members are like, yeah, you go. And I really like that, given how mousy and new girl she was in season 1, and now she's like, I know what my job is. Like, I'm not a cadet no more. You need to put a little respect in your voice.
Yeah, especially when Noonien saw her again talking about Ensign, so
yeah, exactly. And the fact that in episode 2, when Noonien was like, yeah, I need you to do all this, she's like, like, all right, so she's your mentor, I get it, you're mine. So I'm gonna tell you, you asking me to do an illegal order? No, I'm not doing that. Yeah, but we gotta save her. Then we gotta do it another way. Because I ain't gonna put myself in danger, which was the undertone. I'm not gonna put you in danger. It's very much the black woman looking at the not black woman going, and when they find out that another law has been broken, you think they're gonna be looking at you?
No.
They're looking at Una. They ain't going after Pike. So yeah, that's you see this neck? Yeah, this neck is down here. See how it is comfortably not out? Yeah, not doing it. And I'm not letting you stick your neck out either, So I really do like that they're letting the characters evolve. That is really big. We're getting some serious character growth from season to season, and that's great. Second, the fact that the first episode just took the captain and the first officer out and showed, look, this crew knows what they're doing.
Yep.
I thought that was really cool. But they brought in Carol Kane with this crew knows what they're doing, but there are better. There are better ones out there. So they're not the best of the best of the best of the best, like we're always being told that, the Federation is. But it was like, yeah, it looks like somebody's trying to steal the ship. Reminded me of Bernie Mac in Bad Santa, where he's like, y'all been doing this and y'all think y'all haven't gotten caught, but you did get caught by me. you know. And she was like, yeah, if you were gonna do that type of thing, you should totally do it this way. I'm like, okay, I like her. I like her as much as I like Reno, my angry engineer from Discovery. You know,
Yo, Reno's like the illest engineer in those streets. Like I really
serious.
like she's shooting to the top of my list of engineers. Like I do like other engineers, but just the way she is not phased by man, I can't think of his name now. Hugh.
Yeah.
She is not phased by him at all. Because when we
Yeah, and
start the show, he is mean to everybody, and nobody really. Everybody kind of stays out of his way because of how mean he is.
yeah,
But she's like, no, no, I'll put on the gloves with you, no problem. I have
yeah.
no problem with that.
Honestly, my favorite moment with her was in the last season where he's injured. They're trying to do the Jeffrey's tube stuff. And he's like, I can pick this up. I can climb up there. She's like, you're injured. No, you can't. And I got a bad back. That's why we got incense.
Yeah.
Like, that's why there's people that work under us. We are too old for this.
Like, yeah, we got young people over here, young, spry, fresh knees and stuff. Why we going to do this?
Like, real talk, I was almost expecting her to be like, call that that Bundler boy down here. He'll climb to those two.
Oh, man.
You know.
We
Yeah,
all
seriously.
love Boimler.
And that's I'm really digging that they have another ancient person on there, and she seems very fun. You know, it's nice to have the person on the show, and this is a very new thing in Star Trek, but having a crew member that just enjoys what they do. Just like, yeah, I would be at home knitting. Let's do some of this stuff. I'm like, okay. That is an archetype they haven't touched on. So I'm really looking forward to this season to see where it goes.
Normally we wouldn't do anything, but yeah, sure, this is cool.
Yeah, exactly. So, just to have that person that goes enthusiastically into the breach and opposed to dutifully or hopefully like we normally have in a Star Trek thing. But having someone on a show in space that genuinely loves to be there, that is something that we don't get enough in sci-fi. So I'm glad that Discovery
we could
really touched on
use some Miss Marvels in
exactly.
Star Trek.
That's exact.
That's why I like Miss Marvel so much. She's like, yo, I'm a superhero and it's cool.
Yeah,
like
that's exactly it. That enthusiasm.
People every night. It's so dark. It's like, no, man. Actually, it's cool to have power. Stop acting like you don't like it. Stop acting like you hate the fact that when you take your shirt off, there's like 8-pack abs. Stop it, like, man. Stop it.
Hey man, I'm telling you,
so
being
hard,
Spider-Man is easy. I can skip gym day. I get the cool powers. I get to swing through the sky. I get to save people. And I can still keep up with all my schoolwork. Yeah, this is a cool thing.
Yeah, and across the Spider-Verse, when Pav is like, he's like, I don't have to try, but I do anyway. He's like, I get up, skip the workout because I'm already good. I don't want to get buff. Oh man. He's funny because of course we get example of a Spider-Man that hasn't experienced that trauma that the canon events are supposed to bring.
Right. So, and having a character like that on Star Trek is really refreshing. Like seriously refreshing, especially since they're old. So it's the old person that enjoys everything. And I dig that. I really dig that.
Yes, we need more old people like that just like they love life. They want to do cool things and just And now at the same time, we need more young people that will accept them doing cool things with them. Ageism works both ways. So it's look, stop hating on old people, and old people stop hating on young people. Like if y'all work together, it'd be great.
Welcome to middle age, my friend. You're now at that age where you're like, y'all are hating them. I don't know if it's because I understand where you're coming from and where you're coming from because that's where I'm going, or where you're coming from because that's where I've been. But y'all are being dumb.
It's like, y'all could actually be cool if y'all work together. Like, it'd be awesome.
Like, seriously. Yeah. And that was the thing. That was the thing on that. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to where this season is going. I think it's gotten off to a good start. Um, in the character development and a lot of the writing, in the expanding on the characters that they didn't get a chance to really expand on, or more to the point, in the ways that they didn't get to expand on in the last season. I think that's
Mm,
good. I think that's very
okay.
good. Um, and I'm glad that they got the obligatory, very important episode out of the way. Um, so I'm really looking forward to the rest of the season. Like I'm hyped to watch the next episode on Wednesday. So that's
Nice.
gonna be good. And if anybody is wondering where they can find me and, you know, hear me talk about really heavy things, but do so in the context of playing games and being nice to people, y'all can find me at twitch.tv/BID_P Monday through Friday at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So I know a whole lot of y'all out there will be home from work by then. And you can also reach out to me on YouTube at the same time. That's at Solar Gray YouTube. Like, look up Solar Gray or go to BidP Blurred on YouTube, and you can find my stuff there and the archives and all that stuff. So thanks for having me on the show. I've missed doing this with you, man. Really.
Yes, I'm glad look, we're back, and I'm pretty sure Evil will be back soon, so we can do some more cool stuff, schedules permitting. Um, but yeah, it's always fun to be able to bounce around topics on Star Trek because Strange New Worlds is awesome. So, I think my final thoughts is thank you for wrapping up the trial in 2 episodes. What I didn't want was season 2, the trial of Una. Like I did not want that.
That's
So
fair.
we got that out the way. Now our crew is free to do what they want to do. Well, sort of do what they want to do, but I mean they're still going to do what they want to do anyway. But still, you know what I mean. They're free. They're not hampered by this trial thing. That's covered, and we're finished, and now we can move on. So I like that. I like that. Let's go. Let's go find some things. Let's go. Apparently, fight the Gorn sooner or later. Especially since I know nothing about the Gorn except what I've seen in this show. So yeah, let's do that, and let's not do trials anymore. At least for a little bit. So with that said, NERDSoul, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, podcast, all that jazz. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, comment, go over and follow Back in the Deck, all that good stuff. And until the next beaming, the next warp cycle, until the next personal log that gets stolen, at least that we thought of at first, and then it didn't get stolen. This is from us to you saying, peace.